All right, today we're going to dive into a really fascinating and honestly a pretty counterintuitive idea. What if the real secret to building amazing business partnerships and, yeah, even leading your market isn't about chasing connections at all, but about learning how to walk alone? Let's get into it. So it all starts with this thought from the philosopher Alan Watts. He's saying that the act of desperately trying to get friends is the very thing that pushes them away. You know that feeling, right? It's like trying to clutch water in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. Now let's take that idea and just drop it right into the world of business. What if that constant hustle for the next big partner, that next client, that extra point of market share? What if that's the very thing holding us back? It's a pretty challenging thought, and it kind of flies in the face of almost every business book out there. And that brings us to this core idea, the business that walks alone. Now hold on, this isn't about being isolated or arrogant, not at all. It's about a business that is so solid in its own value, so complete in what it's trying to do, that it just doesn't need other people to tell it it's good. You can really see the difference here. On one side, you've got the needy business. It's always looking over its shoulder, operating from a place of fear. This is the business that'll slash prices just to land a partner because it's scared it won't get picked otherwise. But then you have the whole business. It isn't chasing, it's just being. It's so focused on its core value that it just radiates that out, and the right partners are naturally drawn in. It's the difference between hunting for connections and becoming a magnet for them. So how do you even begin to make that kind of shift? Well, it starts by realizing that our whole view of the market, this brutal dog-eat-dog battlefield, is built on a massive illusion. And Alan Watts just nails it with this image. A business worrying about a competitor is like one wave worrying that it's somehow separate from the entire ocean. It's just a failure to see that you're both just different expressions of the same thing, the market itself. It really shows you how absurd that feeling of separation is. Let's give this problem a name. Let's call it market amnesia. It's this collective forgetting that we are all part of the same ecosystem. We start to see ourselves as these little separate islands, all fighting for the same scarce resources, when the truth is, we're all connected by the same deep ocean currents. And when a business has market amnesia, everything it does becomes, well, pointless. Chasing partners and market share out of desperation is literally like trying to catch your own shadow. You can run yourself into the ground all day long, but you're never going to grab it, because the whole chase is based on a flawed idea. Okay, so to get out of that trap, we need a huge shift in perspective. We have to move our thinking from scarcity, from what we don't have, to a place of fullness. And that means totally rethinking what a partnership is even for in the first place. I mean, let's be real for a second. If you look closely, a lot of business partnerships, maybe even most of them, are just a form of mutual neediness. It's, I need your audience and, well, you need my tech. It's this transaction designed to fill a hole that each business thinks it has. Picture this. You've got two empty cups. Each one is thinking, man, if I can just get a little something from that other cup, I'll finally be full. So they just clank against each other, trying to pour something that just isn't there to begin with. And that's the punchline, right? It's impossible. You can't create fullness out of emptiness. Those kinds of partnerships, the ones built on need, are shaky from the start, and they almost always end in disappointment. So, what's the alternative? This is where it gets really good. It's what we can call the magnetism of wholeness. The wild secret here is that you start attracting real, lasting success the very moment you stop chasing it. The best way to think about this is the sun. I mean, the sun isn't flying around the galaxy trying to beg planets to orbit it. It doesn't have to. It's just focused on being what it is, burning bright, radiating heat and light. And because of that incredible self-contained energy, planets are just naturally pulled into its orbit. So how does a business become its own sun? Well, first, you stop chasing the external stuff, the awards, the media mentions, the desperate deals. Second, you have to look inward and find your fire. What is your real core mission? Third, you shine unconditionally. That just means executing on your mission with everything you've got. And finally, you just let go. You trust that the right customers, the right partners, the right talent, they'll be drawn to the warmth and light you're putting out there. Now, I know what you're thinking. This doesn't mean your business becomes a hermit and never collaborates. Not at all. It means you get to engage in a totally new, way more powerful kind of partnership. One that comes from two strong businesses connecting, not two needy ones. So let's be super clear. The goal isn't to avoid relationships. It's to stop depending on them for your company's identity or its sense of value. When you do that, you get the freedom to work with others because you want to, not because you feel like you have to just to feel complete. And this perspective just completely changes how you see competition. Your rivals aren't enemies you have to destroy. They're just different flowers in the same garden. A competitor's success doesn't take away from your light. If anything, it makes the whole ecosystem healthier and brighter for everybody. And all of this leads to the final and most powerful realization of all. This whole journey isn't about building something you don't have. It's about realizing something that was there the whole time. And I bet right now you're asking the million-dollar question. Okay, I'm sold, this sounds amazing, but how do we actually become this whole magnetic business? Well, here's the beautiful paradox at the center of it all. The answer is you stop trying. That frantic effort to become whole is the very thing that proves you believe you're not whole to begin with. See, the shift isn't about achieving something new. It's about recognizing something true. It's understanding that your core value, your mission, your reason for being, it was never broken. It was never missing a piece. You just have to stop buying into the story that it was. Here's one last way to think about it. Your business will have challenges. A bad quarter, tough competition, a launch that flops. Those are just clouds passing by. But your business isn't a cloud. Your core value, your mission, that's the sky. It's vast, it's always there, and it's completely untouched by the temporary weather. So we'll leave you with this question. Just for a minute, forget about what you need to get. Forget who you need to partner with or which competitor you think you have to beat. Instead, just ask yourself this. What would you build if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that your business was already whole?